Hello and welcome to Tesori Home. Today we are bringing you our next episode in our series Design Within Reach, where we tour everyday people's homes to show you that you can create a home you love within your means. Today we are touring Amanda Moore's beautiful home nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. Amanda is renting this beautiful home. It was built in the 1940s, and I'm so excited to show you how she's made it her own. So I hope that whether you are renting or you own your home, that Amanda's space inspires you to create a home you truly love. Now let's go in and see what Amanda is up to.
Welcome.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us, Amanda.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. I would love to know where your inspiration came from and how you fell in love with design and home.
I think that my interest in design really started in fashion when I was younger, and I think it's evolved into home just as I've gotten older and having my own homes and being exposed to different kinds of architecture and design. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not the kid who was moving my furniture all over the place in my room. I'm the kid who was, because when I was in high school, we still just had paper magazines. I was the one who was cutting out all these pictures and making like collages all over my closet of like fashion things.
I love that.
So that's sort of where it started for me.
Well, fashion and home are so parallel too. You can see,
Totally.
And even what you're wearing totally matches the aesthetic of your home. And I really feel that the more we understand our style and discover what our style is, the more those two like align. How would you describe your style?
I would describe it as romantic and elegant and whimsical, because I don't ever want to take any of it too seriously.
I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely see that in your home too.
Yeah.
Even the like wallpaper, which
I didn't even pick this out, but it really...
But it totally matches that vibe. Like, I can't, like, so this is original wallpaper.
Yeah, this wallpaper and paint is original to the home. It was built in the 1940s, and it has stood the I guess that's timeless design.
Yeah.
It stood the test of time.
Well, I love this space that you have here, the foyer. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about this space?
So we rent this house, and we rented it sight unseen. And from the pictures on Zillow, I was like, ooh, that foyer wallpaper could be really interesting in person, or it might not be, I'm not sure. So when we got here, I was pleasantly surprised. I think at first I was really intimidated to decorate around this wallpaper because it is so bold. But now, since I've been here for 2 years, it doesn't seem that intimidating anymore. The person who owns this house, when we moved in, her plan is to tear it down eventually. And so when we moved in, she was like, I don't care what you do inside that house. Wow. So I do have a little bit more freedom. You know, I'm not gonna gut the kitchen, but I do have probably a little bit more freedom than a normal renting situation. So
I can't believe that she still currently plans to tear it down?
Unclear. So we've been here for 2 years, and you know, the last time we spoke to her about it, she was like, oh, I don't know exactly what I want to do with the house. So,
oh my gosh.
Time will tell.
I hope you can convince her to
I know, me too.
to not tear it down, because it is such a gem.
Yeah, it really is.
And then over here, I love this little moment you have with this little bench.
Yeah, that was a good Facebook Marketplace find.
Oh, I love it.
I was looking for a bench for such a long time to put here, and then that one popped up.
It's perfect. So where do you find most of your pieces for your home, would you say?
I'm like everywhere. You know, When I was younger and we first moved to California, I got a West Elm credit card and I bought everything from West Elm. And then as I've gotten older and developed my like decor taste a little bit, I like to incorporate a lot of antiques. You know, some of them are ones that have been in my family. This is Facebook Marketplace. So now I kind of shop all over the place. But there's definitely still some West Elm mixed in.
So how did you discover your style and what you love? Like, how did that evolve? Because obviously I don't walk in here and I think, oh wow, West Elm.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's touches, but so how, can you tell me a bit about how that came about?
You know, that was when I moved to California, and so it was very, you know, there was a lot of mid-century modern homes there, and that was sort of what was dominating the market at the time. But then as I've gotten a little bit older and some of my family members have given me some of like our family heirlooms and hand-me-downs and things, I've grown an appreciation for like really well-made pieces that have been around and they bring a story with them. Or even like the scuff marks on, like, you know, I probably could refinish this bench, but I kind of like knowing that there was a history to it before it was in my home.
I love that. So well put. Well, if you are wanting to discover your design style, we actually have a free course that I'll put in the link in the description below, teaching you about all the different design styles, helping you to understand what your aesthetic is and also how to apply it in your own home if you want to really lean in and get to know your style the way Amanda has and others that we have on this channel. So where would you like to take us next?
How about the living room?
Let's do it. First of all, this view and all the light that comes in and the windows, there's so much character. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, the windows are amazing. It's like you don't really have to do much in here because of that view. So this is our main like TV viewing area. So I know a lot of people have feelings about a TV above a mantle, but that's what works for us. So when we first moved in, we did not have that couch. We just had this big navy blue velvet sectional. So it really cut off the flow of the room, but it was comfortable for our family, so we lived with it for a while, but I really wanted to have 2 sofas in here. So I found this at the RH outlet.
Okay.
And this couch I've had forever. This is one of the West Elm ones.
Yes.
But I switched out the legs recently to give it a little bit more of a older look, because it was like very modern steel round legs. So, you know, you can just order new legs and put them on and it gives it a completely different look.
That is so smart. Now, where did you get those legs?
They were off of Amazon.
Wow. That's genius.
So far, they've held up very well.
I'll put a link in the description below if you want to shop pieces from Amanda's home, and I'll make sure to include that because I feel like that's so smart. Sometimes I see couches that I'm like, oh, I love the couch, but those legs just like they really do. The legs have so much to do with the feel.
They really do.
And you don't realize how little details make such a difference.
Yeah.
Now, I love these bookshelves. Do you have like a certain way you like to style bookshelves, a method you go by?
I definitely always start with books. And like on this shelf, I didn't really want them to be the showpiece, so I turned them all around so you just see the spines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or not the spine,
the pages,
inside,
yes.
Yeah, pages. And then I go from books to some of the bigger pieces that are in the back, like artwork. And then just sort of layer things forward. Do you want to go to the library next?
Ooh, I would love to.
That's the most recent room that I've gotten my hands on.
Ooh. Where to next?
To the dining room. So this is definitely the most used room in our house, obviously for eating meals, but also because that buffet houses all of my daughter's like arts and crafts and coloring and sensory bin and stuff like that. So this table usually doesn't really look like this.
It's usually covered in like
usually
books
covered, yeah.
I love
You might
that.
find some remnants of glitter glue somewhere.
Oh, how sweet. The first thing about this room is this wallpaper.
Yeah.
Now this is original as well.
Yes.
Amazing. it's like textured.
Yeah, it's some sort of like a linen.
Wow, it just like brings it like to life. And also I love the way the
Tudor arch.
Tudor arch, is that what it's called? So fun.
So the table and chairs were all off of Facebook Marketplace. And then I refinished the table because it had sort of a like orangey color to it.
Okay.
And it had a shiny varnish or veneer on the top of it. And then the chairs were off of Facebook Marketplace too.
Are the light fixtures original as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so
They were all here when we moved in.
I love like that you have these, again, more modern chairs against this vintage antique piece. Like it's so quirky, and it just, everything balances so well. Do you really try, are you mindful about that when in each room, or is it something that just kind of happens?
Honestly, I think it a lot of times happens by accident. It is just mixing in these like pieces that I've had from large brands for a long time with these things. This one I found at this little table. I found it at an estate sale, and just mixing them together. And once you start to figure out what it is that you like, you'll find that like the pieces, they work together regardless of what time period they're from. I think I also have a very clear color palette in this house. You know, some of that was here already with the paint and the wallpaper, but blush colors have always been a neutral for me.
Yeah.
So, which thank goodness it goes so well with this paint color.
Yes.
So even just making, the colors having some consistency will make those pieces work together even if they're from different time periods.
This room is the room I always am admiring the most on your page. I think this is just such a magical space, and I'm obsessed with the floor.
Yeah, I love this. The floors were one of the very first things that I did, probably like a week after we moved into this house. I was like, I am putting those peel and stick tiles down, because it was like white linoleum underneath, and it just didn't fit with the house at all.
And this feels like what was meant to be here too.
This is where I let my dogs out. This is where my kids go out to play. So it really does get a lot of traffic, and it's so easy to clean.
So good.
Yeah.
So we'll link that down below too. So if you want to put peel and stick floors in your rental or your home, make sure to check that out at the link in the description. And this light, I love this light.
I know, I love that light fixture. That was here when we moved in.
Wow.
And then this table has been in my family. I remember it being in my grandparents' house, and like, everybody's sitting around it. It has leaves that go in it. And my dad inherited it when my grandparents passed away, and I told him, I was like, that will be in my house one day. Oh. And I told my brother and sister, that table is mine.
You're claiming it.
And and then so once we got into this house, then there was a round room, and I had no purpose for it whatsoever. I was like, Dad, can you bring me the table?
Oh.
So we did, thank goodness.
That's the thing. It's like pieces that carry a story or a memory, whether it's like family, like a family heirloom or something you found on a really special trip, or that's what I feel like makes home feel so happy to you, because it reminds you of these things.
It sparks that joy every time you look at it. So I think about Entenmann's crumb cake every time, or my grandparents sitting there playing skip-bo,
I love
that. So this room is definitely special to me.
Well, I would love to go explore upstairs.
Yeah.
Love that this room has a totally different feel.
It does have a totally different feel. And this room was really my attempt at going like deep and dark and moody. I still can't believe this worked out, that like these velvet drapes match the wall color so perfectly. And so it really has this like feeling of just sort of enveloping you in the space.
And even the green chair in the corner, like, I love this shade too.
Yeah, I
just
found
love
that
green.
at an antique store around here.
Wow. It's also so fun that I see you hanging your art pieces.
The picture rail molding, it's only on the second floor. I really wish it was on the first floor because this house has plaster walls. So if you try to like nail or screw into it, it can just crumble sometimes.
Okay.
So, and this is such an easy way to hang things without putting holes in the wall.
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm also, okay, the brown and just the colors in here. You did such an amazing job marrying these colors together because they all work. And it's nice because it like, I mean, this is a place for you and your husband, right? So it's like masculine and feminine. It's like both balanced.
Yeah.
And this tiger print.
I love this duvet.
Where is this from?
That's from Lulu in Georgia. And yeah, I love it. It's made out of hemp and it's like really lightweight and cozy. And this bed was another find at an outlet store at the Crate and Barrel outlet.
I love
It was like missing all of the hardware. And we weren't really even planning on changing our bed frame when we did this room, but we saw this and we were like, I think we should do this, right? Because it was like $300 or something.
That's unbelievable.
The artwork up there, I won at an auction at Habitat for Humanity Restore. I think they were like $100. And if you look on like Cherish or First Dibs, there are thousands.
Of course, yeah.
So I love Restore.
And I love that it like ties in the botanical theme that from downstairs. It kind of keeps that motif like going through the home.
Yeah. Yeah, every room in this house has some sort of flowers or botanicals in some way.
It's a nice way to tie everything together even though you have different moods for different rooms.
Yeah. After Hurricane Helene, this bathroom became like ground zero for all of our like weird things we had to do to get water. And it just felt so sad to me. And so I decided once we were through that and we had running water again and everything, I was gonna make this bathroom pretty. So I made the sink skirt to hide, you know, all the under sink stuff.
Yeah.
And I did this stencil on the wall because again, it was like a whitish, bluish, sterile color. Instead of trying to downplay the peach tub and sink, I thought, you know what, let's just add more color and go with it. And there's this tiny little bit of terracotta in the tile that I wanted to pull out. It was more labor intensive than I anticipated it being.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
But it's a great alternative to wallpaper, especially in a rental, and it definitely costs much less than wallpaper.
Thank you so much for taking us through your home. It's been so fun to hear about just every room and the personal touches you made, and you've done such a beautiful job, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I would love to know, what do you hope people feel when they come into your home?
I hope they feel welcome and calm. I hope that they feel like it's a little magical, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like the setting that we're in here, you know, really adds to that regardless of what I do inside.
Right. But what you've done inside like enhances that so much. What would be your advice for someone who really wants to create a home they love, but are on a tight budget? I think a lot of people feel really limited, and rightfully so, by their budgets, but what would be your advice for someone in that position?
I think get really clear on what you want your space to feel like, so that you aren't just buying things because they're like, they fit into the budget, but make sure that you know what you're looking for. because that's how you're going to train, your Facebook marketplace algorithms. So whether that's, creating a mood board or a vision board of what you want the space to look like, and then seeking out those pieces, going to outlet stores, Facebook marketplace, thrift stores, even garage sales. I got that little table over there at a garage sale down the street for $5. So you just have to know what you're looking for and then be patient in seeking out the right pieces.
And that makes a home feel collected and layered and have depth and interest and not just be so like sterile,
Right, yeah. If you want it to look collected, you have to start collecting things.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty simple when you put it that way.
Yeah, and I'm 44, so I've been collecting things for a very long time.
Well, I would just love to ask one more question, and that would be, what do you hope people who are watching this video right now would like take away from our time touring your home?
I hope people take away that you can have beautiful pieces that don't have to cost a fortune. You can change them, you can make them into what you want them to look like. And that you can also have like a beautiful home and have children that live in the home, and that the two things can work together.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking us through and for sharing. And if you want to follow Amanda on Instagram, you can follow her at House of More Design. She posts such beautiful content about her home and even just her outdoor area, everything. It's just so beautiful. So make sure to give her a follow. And if you want to catch the extended cut of Amanda's home tour, make sure to check out the link in the description. We put all of our extended cuts inside of our membership. And also inside of our membership, we help equip you to design, decorate, and host with ease in a home you love. So if you want help doing that, make sure to check it out and learn more at the link below. But this has been so nice. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming here.
Yay, we did it.
Is that okay?
The immediate, was that okay? Yes, you did such a good job.